Hello, and thank you for joining us in viewing our third short video following a series of videos related to our main presentation, which was entitled Supporting Children's Learning Through Planning and Classroom Organization. In this short video, you will be informed on how to provide a reassuring, welcoming, and inclusive environment with testimonials of real life school experiences by two colleagues who understand that in order to put in place an ideal environment, the responsibility is to be shared by all stakeholders. So, providing a reassuring, welcoming, and inclusive environment. In the program, we say that their growth, referring to the children, of course, is fostered through supportive and quality environments along with appropriate expectations for their level of development. When you read what the program says about how to make this happen, you realize that the responsibility is shared by all the stakeholders involved.
We would like to hear from a teacher who has worked with me in the same school and who would like to talk briefly about the importance of good communications and collaborations between teachers and specialists. How can we encourage exchanges in order to support the needs of the children? Alors, this is Andréane Bolduc on the loan of service, who is physical education teacher and collaborator in the physical and health education programs. Obviously, Andréane's experience is intended for kindergarten teachers. We want to encourage reflections on what is possible or not to put in place in each of our environments. Therefore, we simply want to encourage reflections based on the testimony of another important stakeholder in the school life of the child. Hi, Andréane.
Hi. So I taught physical education to 4 years old kindergarten children for 3 years, which allowed me to learn more about children of that age. First, I would like to present my teaching style with these children so that we can then make connections between this and the preschool cycle program. In my first encounters with the children, I will create a warm up routine that continues throughout the year. Then I let them explore the materials that I gradually integrate. The only rules in the class that I put in place are for safety. The children can play freely and at their own pace, which leaves plenty of room for discovery. This way of doing things allows them to discover the material and to have enough time to use it and to enjoy it. Several objects are available to them in order to meet their various interests. It also allows them to get to know the other children in the class. They observe each other, create bonds, and discover new means of action or games. For the adults in the class, it also allows us to bond with them, get to know them, and observe their interests and skills. Often, children like to show us their skills or new learning, which allows us to get to know them better and create these connections. It is up to us to seize the opportunities through our observations of what the child is doing. I have developed this style because children are often intimidated in their first physical education classes. The room is large, the speakers are new to the children, and they have had little or no similar experience. If I were to introduce collaborative games in a large group setting, there would probably be too many rules and the kids might have a hard time putting them into action. This will come later in the year in a gradual way and above all by respecting their interests and their pace as much as possible.
This is also consistent with the preschool cycle program, Adrienne. The organizations of a kindergarten classroom encourages the child's active participations. The classroom, the schoolyard, and of course the gym are places where children can observe, explore, manipulate, think, exercise their memory, develop a project, test their abilities, and develop their motor skills.
The collaboration between the teacher and the specialist is very important to me. It helps me improve my sessions, but it also creates a bond that the students soon notice. Although my planning is set and activities are scheduled, I sometimes modify it depending on the children's interests or a theme they have covered during the day. One example I can share with you is about a craft the children made that they wanted to bring to the gym that day. They had made king and queen crowns during the day and were wearing them when they arrived at the gym. It was at this point that I decided to change my planning and instead make a game out of their crowns. The kids and I came up with the rules of the game and the materials to use.
Andrea, the children have created a bond with you and want to share their daily experiences with you too. Just because you have them 3 times a week doesn't mean that the bond only exists at the gym. They want to share their daily world with you.
For me, it also allows me to get to know them in their everyday reality. I can have my lesson plan, but since that day, if there is an activity, an interest, a question, I will start from them to modify either my intentions or the game. It regularly happens that the children see the material from the previous lesson and make suggestions for the activities. Thus, from what the children reveal to me, everything takes a new form.
To support in an ideal manner, the relationship between teacher and specialist becomes important. It is not in the doorway or during a transitions that is the most appropriate. It is important to establish other moments. Arranged time are often preferable one-to-one as the specialist must adapt to the different pedagogical styles of several teachers. At the beginning of the school year, we invited families to join us to play with our parachute. For many parents in our neighborhood, this activity reminds them of their childhood and their physical education class. So having Andréane as the physical education teacher created once again connection with the children and their family.
Yes, and when activities are organized with the families, I like to be present and take part in them because it is one of the rare occasions where I can chat with them and get to know more about their child. I can also answer their questions, and on their part, they often give me very important information. Their appreciation of their child's physical education classes, their interest in physical activity, or their general interest in personality traits, just to throw a few examples. These activities give me much more opportunity to exchange information with them than when I meet parents in the parking lot.
Right now, we're going to watch a video which was taken actually with Mélanie's learners. And this is in the gymnasium, Andréane, and this is you in action with the Munchkins. So we're just going to take a quick look and see your interaction and your teaching style with the 4-year-olds. Well, Andréane, what I can notice here, even though I wasn't there, but I know that Mélanie, who took the video, she captured a moment where the children were so deeply involved and so deeply engaged, and the fun that you had put in place. They're so attentive to you that you've clearly created such a bond with them. You whistle, they all stopped. They were looking at you to see what the next action would be. This is a really great moment, and it's a wonderful experience for the children. I'm sure that they would love coming back into the gymnasium just to be with you. And I loved the fact that you allowed for the crowns when they were playing king and queen. You allowed for them to bring them into the gymnasium, and maybe it was a suggestion also on Mélanie's part, and you allowed them to continue in that role that they had, so willingly adopted for that day. So that's wonderful. I'm sure that the children at your school had wonderful experiences based on what you both have been telling me. So we're going to go back to the presentation, and you're just going to have to give me a moment.
Just to say thank you for taking the time to listen to our own experiences at our school, where collaborations is key for factor in providing a reassuring, caring, and inclusive environment. You may join us now for the next short video. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you both.